What I'm doing is the butternut dance. And this is how you find your butternuts. You dance around with your feet, and when you feel a butternut, you pick it up and throw it in your bag. Ah, here's another one. These are butternuts. Got more. Whole bunch of them. Haha. Butternut dance is infallible for turning up butternuts when they are ripe. So let's take a look at these. So your butternut, it is oblong, green, sticky, makes these beautiful stains on your hands, and it comes from the butternut tree. Here is your butternut tree. This is one leaf, compound leaf, quite long, divided into little leaflets. Yes, this is one leaf. Notice the distinction between the gray woody branch and the green leaves. Now, this is a feather compound leaf. It looks like the tail of a bird with feathers coming out on both sides. How about the bark of the tree? Beautiful, beautiful gray bark with ridges that are flat on top. Sort of reminds me of the pattern when you're little kids and you make sandcastles and you run water down the sandcastle. Sort of the same kind of swirly pattern. One of the most beautiful barks of any of the trees. This is in season in the fall. New York City, it's in season in September. And these trees are a little bit finicky. They don't bear fruit every year. It's now 1987, mid-September, and the last time this tree bore fruit in any great quantity was in '82, but it bears quite a bit. I took home several shopping bags of butternuts a few days ago, and I'm rapidly filling up my bag now. Again, shuffling your feet around on the ground, you feel the butternuts, that's when you've got them. Now, some of the butternuts have been demolished by squirrels and others have gone rotten, so we want the ones that are pretty green. And here is one that is definitely no good anymore. Here's one where the squirrels have made an attempt, but I think the nut inside is still good. By the way, the husk of the butternut, besides dyeing your finger, makes a dye for clothing. The Confederate soldiers in the Civil War used butternut husks to dye their uniforms gray, and because of that, they were known as butternuts. The butternut has its name because the Indians would shell the nuts. This one is also a little bit too old. The Indians would shell the butternuts. Here's a good one. Boil the nut, and oil would go to the surface of the pot. And it was this oil that they would use in place of butter. Not very common that you saw Indians with herds of cows. So they used wild foods instead of the dairy herds that the European people use. And look at this abundance. I was here 2 days ago, and I thought I'd gathered most of the unrotten nuts. And there are still plenty, plenty more. This is going to be great. Nice big bag of them. There's nothing poisonous that looks like the butternut. The closest thing to the butternut is the black walnut, which is edible, and the hickory nuts, some of which are edible, some of which are very, very bad tasting. But none are poisonous. So this is a good, safe one for supervised beginners. Again, unsupervised beginners should be checking everything with someone they know who knows the plants before they eat them. Okay, these nuts are so hard, fortunately, that the squirrels can't even get into them. You need a heavy-duty nutcracker, which is something that I have at home. You dry the butternuts in the oven, low temperature, for about 2 days with the door open, and then you put them in the nutcracker and they crack right down the middle. Cannot get a better nut. One of the interesting nutritional qualities of this nut is the only nut that has no carbohydrate. For people on a low carbohydrate diet, it's the only nut they can eat. And it doesn't grow in supermarkets or nut stores or even specialty stores. You have to go to the tree to get them. The nutrition is minerals, essential fatty acids, and protein. No carbohydrate whatsoever. The essential fatty acids actually help as far as keeping the circulatory system in good health.